right, welcome back, everyone. We're back. We're
Woo!
back in the booth tonight. What's up, Ollie?
Hey, I'm doing well. It's good to see you. It's been a couple of days since our last recording, but yeah, it's good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I do want to make a quick announcement. If anyone is listening, and if you are enjoying the content that we've been putting out this past month and a half, please consider dropping a follow on Spotify, subscribing on YouTube, trying to get our YouTube subscriptions past the number of members I have in my family. So it's much appreciated if anyone listening can help us get there. That's literally the goal, bro. Is like 10 subscribers, 15 subscribers, man. We gotta it start small, you know what I'm saying?
How many
Start
people in your
small.
family?
There's seven family members I have.
Okay, yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah, we need help.
I
So
I don't even know what we're at right now. Are we there yet? We might
maybe
be. We
we
might
might
be,
be.
bro. We might
We,
be.
we hit a milestone.
Damn, we hit them out. Yeah, we haven't even celebrated that yet.
More
Shit.
than more than 7 subscribers. We did
I
it.
know. We did it. Okay. Well, anyways, help us get to 10, maybe even 25. I don't want to go too far.
And we
But
appreciate that.
but yes, my weekend went well, bro. I was out in the city.
Mhm.
Went to the office this weekend, or I guess Friday,
Yeah,
and got dinner with some friends, and then
that's good.
I went to a comedy show actually. Actually,
Okay.
it's an IU alum who's a couple years older than us. I'm not
Okay.
that close to him, but man, did he blow it out of the water? It's this group of like five like Arab Indian guys,
Okay.
and
What's his name?
they were amazing. His
What's
name
his
is
name?
Zaid Fuzi. His
Save Uzi.
is his online comedian
Mhm.
name. Y'all should check him out though. He's freaking amazing.
Gotcha. Okay.
I thoroughly enjoyed myself. Laughed my ass off.
That's good.
Yeah.
At least you're giving him a shout out, so he should appreciate this to our
I
nine
know. That's
subscribers.
what I'm saying, bro. I was
To our
like, Zaid,
nine
bro.
subscribers.
I'm giving you. I'm telling you, bro. I'm doing God's work here to my
You
nine
are.
subscribers.
He should be very appreciative, very grateful for you. Um, so
uh,
so in this episode, we don't have Omar. He's
I
back in his
know.
homeland, Algeria, right?
Algeria, yes, he's in the city of Algiers right now, capital of Algeria. I mean, look, bro, we're all making our rounds, man. I went back to the motherland. He's in the motherland right now. It's
Mhm.
only a matter of time before you got to take your mandatory trip back there too.
Yeah.
When you going back, bro? Come on, give us
Um,
the horizon.
man, it's tough. It's tough because you know, the situation, COVID is crazy.
Yeah, man. They make you
It's
post up in a hotel for 15 days.
I know. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to probably end of year see how it goes. But when
Yeah,
it comes, it comes. I'll let you guys know. Uh,
gotcha.
so listeners, you're gonna have me for about a year. I'm not going anywhere. All right, let's get down to this episode tonight. Um, so Zane, I have something for you.
Yeah, what's up?
So this man, he has won 4 NBA championships. You've seen him on TV with Ernie, Kenny, and Charles, right? He goes by DJ Diesel, Shaq, right? But in this podcast, we're gonna go further than that. We're gonna call him Dr. O'Neal, right?
We're gonna call him Dr. O'Neal. I don't know, man. I'm too committed to Shaq at this
I know
point.
Shaq is so.
And you're asking me this question like I didn't do like half the research for this episode.
I know we actually just
Yeah,
discussed it right before that.
we're talking about Shaq.
I know. I had this in my script.
I
So
honestly no. I'd rather refer to him as better known as DJ Diesel. I just think that's a sick name.
that's
And
sick.
I know, dude, he's DJ'd at Tomorrowland. Bro, I just think when
Wow.
you're rich, you just get to do some like cool stuff. Like
I
when you
know.
get to that status, you're doing
That's
some wild
it's
shit.
crazy.
But good
But
for him. That's sick.
it's amazing. And today we're gonna really peel it back. We're not gonna look at Shaq, the NBA player. We're gonna focus on him as a successful entrepreneur. I
Yeah.
think everyone knows his stats. What he did as a Laker, as a
Are
Miami
you
Heat
kidding me,
player.
bro? Yeah, bro. Everyone, y'all know him as he won 4 rings, bro. Three
Yeah,
with the Lakers, one with the Heat.
yeah,
Obviously, he played second fiddle to Kobe and then Dwayne
mhm,
Wade. He bounced around the league a bunch, right? He played for like half the NBA at the end of
yeah.
his career. He broke a couple of backboards in the process.
Oh my god.
He has a shoe size that's too big to measure. Like, the list goes on and on, bro. Like what he's known for as an NBA player.
Yeah.
But the Shaq that the world knows is not the Shaq that we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going
Right.
to talk about the Shaq that the business world knows, because he's done quite well for himself, and not enough
Very
people know
well.
about this.
So, what's his net worth today?
Again, you're asking me like I don't know this stuff, bro. But
Okay.
yeah, tell me, and the audience what his net worth is.
400 million. 400
Damn,
million.
400 million. There's no way he made that much in career earnings. Like
Yeah,
that's not possible.
the guy who's sitting with Kenny, Ernie, and like just talking about basketball stuff and like joking around. You've seen him on commercials. That
Yeah,
guy is worth a 400 million, right, people? So
he's got to be up there in like the top 10 like richest
yeah,
athletes or most wealthy
absolutely.
athletes.
Yeah. So
Wow, that's crazy.
it's crazy. And like, I think it's such a I feel like this is gonna be a great episode because you know what, we're gonna go back and find out what Shaq, that pivotal moment that really motivated him to be,
Yeah,
financially savvy or business savvy.
yeah.
So let me take you back to 1992. That's when he got drafted by Orlando Magic. Um,
Straight out of LSU.
Straight out of LSU. He actually signed a contract at the time of his draft, with, I think it's a trading card company, and he got
Really?
$1 million, right? But he knew that there's going to be more money coming in. But
Yeah,
imagine
he had to
getting
know.
that first check of $1 million, right? So
That's all I can do right now is imagine that.
I
'Cause
know
I've never felt it before.
that's all we can do right now. But what he does is, as soon as he got that $1 million, he straight up goes to a dealership, a Mercedes-Benz dealership. He gets himself a car, no negotiating, you know. He just straight up, all right, I'm gonna get this car for
He pays
100.
sticker price.
Yeah,
My dad would be pissed.
And you used to work as a car salesman, right,
I
before
did. I
college.
did.
Yeah, so
That guy got a that guy got a nice payday that day. That salesman.
I know. So he paid. He drove home. His dad was like, you when am I gonna get one?" So he goes back, gets the same car, sticker price for his dad. He goes home. His mom is like, "Oh, those are a nice car. I want one." And she wants a
No
smaller
way.
one. He goes back and straight up bought a smaller Mercedes Benz. I think maybe it's 100,000. Brings it back. So he basically bought 3 Mercedes Benz in one day.
So
And
like that had to have cost him like at least a couple $200,000-$300,000,
that's
bro.
like 300,000, over $300,000, right?
Of his first meal on the first
Of
day.
his on his first meal, right? And then he starts spending on personal items, go like chains, beepers, phone, jewelry. But all it took
See,
was
that
go.
start doesn't make me think that he's gonna be successful. I'll be like, bro, that's like
Yeah.
it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's number one of like how to waste your money, how
Yeah,
to waste away a fortune.
absolutely. And the bank manager at his bank calls him up. It's a family friend.
Hmm.
And he actually told Shaq that, hey, you're 80,000 in the hole. He owes money.
No way. When was this?
92. He spent it so quick. I believe this was in 92.
Oh my
And
God.
and Shaq was actually really embarrassed because the manager, was telling him that, hey, I respect you. I think you're a great kid. You went to college. You play really good, and I know you have a lot of money coming in. But he didn't want to see him end up like other athletes, right? Just
Yeah.
dependent on their career earnings
Yeah.
and nothing else. So, Shaq from that point, he's like, I'm gonna hire a financial advisor. Apparently it's a Jewish guy, who has been a father to him and teaches him how to be prudent with his money. So, that's the start he got. And I think it was a good start, a good lesson. Yeah.
Wow. That's yeah, I think everyone in their lives has that one little turnaround moment. And I
Yeah.
guess when he saw that he was $80,000 in the hole, he was like, shit,
Yeah.
I gotta start doing something with that.
Yeah.
But interesting, very interesting. If I and I
So
mean that kind of begs the question, bro. It's like and what he did, I feel like is not like out of the ordinary for a lot of like NBA stars who
mhm,
make
mhm.
that first million. But like I feel like for us, and by us I just mean kind of more normal people. like
Yeah,
what what say you get an influx of cash like that, right? Like
yeah.
say you randomly sign an endorsement deal and you get $1 million,
Mhm.
right? In your state today, like what would you do with it?
If I get my, I know I'm gonna sound like someone who's like trying to be smart with his money. I'm gonna like keep it in a bank, invest in some stuff.
Hey, his
But
financial advisor would love you.
I
Shaq's
know,
financial advisor, bro.
but I'm not gonna lie. I might actually buy myself a nice house.
Yeah,
Like get myself a nice house, and then the rest of the money I'm just gonna put it in savings or put it in a portfolio.
yeah.
It just feels so empowering to have
Hmm.
so much like or financial freedom, quote unquote, with that
Yeah,
million
yeah.
dollars. Yeah,
Because now you have the time to go do things you like. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. What about you?
I so I'm all for clout. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I think I would just become like, one of those like Twitter gurus
Okay.
who like they're on Twitter and they're just like talking about how they invested in like
Yeah,
a
yeah,
bunch of
yeah.
these companies. I think I would just become like an angel investor and
Oh,
just like
that's
tell
good.
a lot of these entrepreneurs to hit me up, even though I would have no qualifications because I've never started a company.
Yeah.
The only thing I really built myself is probably this.
Well, you're gonna
But
become
look, I think that would just be fun, right? Like you would just get a
yeah,
lot of you meet a lot of cool people, see a lot of cool things.
yeah, I
It's
know.
all about that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. So I think that's what I would do
Well,
with my
you're
first
gonna
million.
be you're gonna be like a accredited investor, straight up,
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah. No, I would be, which is
yeah,
exciting.
that's awesome. But yeah, so moving on, Shaq in his NBA career, he earned 200, close to 300 million, right, in career earnings. I mean, for anyone, if they earn that much money in that span, in that career span, like they could just ride off to the sunset, right? But
Oh, he
no,
has more than enough money to live. Like, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like, yeah,
yeah. But we
he's
have seen cases of athletes going bankrupt, because
yeah.
they just don't really think so much. But let's just look off the court. Shaq,
Mm,
right? Like
mm.
another pivotal moment for him, like for him to get all his degrees, like an MBA, a PhD. He's a doctor he actually got a PhD in education at Barry's. Um,
At
but
where?
I think it's called Barry University, I
Barry
believe.
University. I don't think
Yeah,
I've ever heard of that,
I've never heard of it
but
too. But
interesting.
hey, he got his PhD and he deserves it. But I think there's another pivotal moment that I think people
Mm,
that you, the listeners, should know is that even after he got himself a financial advisor, he was actually I, I would say disrespected, because when
mm.
people go to him, hey, why don't you invest in this or that, they actually don't pitch him, they pitch to his financial advisor. And Shaq goes like, hey, I'm the final decision maker, like why don't you come to me? Why do
Yeah, but
you
like you can't like I mean like you know what I'm saying? Like people know like if he has a financial advisor, that the financial advisor has influence over him. So they're
yeah,
just like, yeah, like we're gonna go to the guy who has influence over
right.
Shaq's money.
So I think from then on he just wants to build his credential, and he goes like, just wait and see, I'll come back. So he goes and
So
get his
yeah, I mean
MBA.
like I guess he's got that mindset, right? Like he's like, I
Mhm,
gotta be the best at what I do. And
mhm.
like that just doesn't apply to basketball, it applies to his money as well, I guess.
Yeah, so he's like a go-getter. I think
Yeah.
he's always trying to prove people wrong. So he got his undergraduate degree, he got his MBA, got
Mm,
his PhD. He's a doctor, so people, we should give him some respect. Call him Dr. O'Neal.
yeah.
Shaq is great, but Dr. O'Neal, I think he
Yeah.
really deserves that title. Um, Other than that, he's involved in law enforcement. If people didn't know, he's actually a sheriff's deputy in Atlanta, in Georgia.
Bro, see, there's no way he's worked a single shift in years. Okay, let's be real here.
Yeah, let's be real. I mean, we see him on TV all the time, but
Bro, that's what I'm saying, bro. He's half the time he's in the TNT studio, man.
I know. But it's just amazing. It's so like interesting for someone who could just ride into the sunset. He just does what he likes to do. But I
Yeah.
think most importantly, like, I think on this episode, we have to really look into his business venture. I think that's what it's all about,
Yeah. And I think that's
right?
what we got to dive into, right? We got to start
Yeah.
talking about how did he go from
Mhm.
spending his first million in the matter of weeks and blowing it, being $80,000 in a hole, to building a $400 million fortune,
Yeah.
right? And it's not all just sexy investments
Mhm.
and things like that, right? He has proven himself to be a disciplined investor and businessman,
Yeah.
and like I think he applied that mentality, man. He was like, whatever he thought he could do, he was going after it. So like
Yeah.
all these NBA players, bro, they thought they were better. He went after them, bro, and he proved that he was the best at what he did, right?
Mhm.
Um, shoe sizes, bro. He went after shoe sizes. Shoe sizes thought they maxed out at 20. He said, no, bro, I'm gonna make myself a custom shoe size. That's how big his feet are. But look, I like we're gonna talk about. I think we start about talking about is kind of his bread and butter, what
Yeah.
he calls his boring investments that really generate a lot of cash flow,
Yeah.
and things that really have helped spur his bigger and sexier, quote unquote, sexier investments.
Yeah.
And what I will say to begin with is that is that uh is that he went after my people, man.
Wait, what?
So what is the Indian community in the US known for? We're known for a few things, right? And we're known for being very educated, which is awesome. Like, we're known for the awesome food that we have.
Yes.
We're also known for having an absolute stronghold on the
Okay.
franchise industry in the United States. Whether that be
Oh.
gas stations, whether that
Oh
be
my God.
hotels, fast food restaurants, whatever you think it is, bro. If it's a franchise, I bet you so much money. I bet you my entire savings account there are
Oh,
Indians who
you
are franchisees.
I see. I didn't even think of that. Like, it's just like part of my everyday life that I don't even
I
think about
know,
it.
dude. I know. Like, I'm telling you, if you're ever on a road trip and you stop at like a Days Inn or a Motel 6, or not even like at a Sheraton or a
Yeah.
Marriott, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Chances are there's an Indian person who owns that hotel. Um,
Okay.
and Shaq just said, you know what? I'm gonna learn something from the Indian community here, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start in the franchise business, because the reason there's so many people in it is because there's a lot of money in it, right?
Yeah.
It might not be like the most exciting thing ever, because it's a very kind of structured, very known business model that's been happening for a lot of years.
Yeah.
But Shaq took a look at that and he was like, I like where this is going. And so
Smart.
can we talk about some of the franchises he owns and he's like built over the years?
Go
It's
for it.
kind of insane.
Okay. Okay. I
So
mean,
okay, so guess the first one. Guess the first one that I'm going to talk
well, I did my research too. So
about.
so
All right,
um
that's funny.
pretzels, Auntie
Yes,
Anne's, right?
yes. He
Five
owns 17
Guys,
of them. He owns 17 Auntie Anne's.
17. Okay. And how wait, so remind me how much did he earn in profit for that one?
So okay, yeah, and we can break it down like this too. Like, so okay, so he owns 17 Auntie Anne's and he's
Okay.
acquired them through a bunch of different purchases, right? But we kind of broke it down, and obviously these are all private, so like we don't know
Disclose it.
exactly how much
Yeah.
his specific stores make and how much he grosses every year.
Mhm.
But generally, on average, an Auntie Anne's outlet will make about $70,000 to $75,000 a year in profits.
Okay. Okay.
And that's just take home bottom line profit at the end of the year, right? Gross profit. And that, if you multiply that by 17, you get about 1.275 million
A year.
a year that he's grossing from
Wow.
his Auntie Anne's locations.
Crazy.
But that's a very small part of what is about to come.
Okay. Is it the Five Guys, right? How many did
Yeah.
he own? How many?
He owns 155, which is why, like, okay, so Five Guys is a little bit different in which they require a lot of their franchisees to own at least 10 or 15.
Mhm.
So they're not going to give you or I just one location. They're like, okay, if you're interested in us, you got to buy like 10 of them.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, just because like it's easier for their corporate entity to like
Yeah.
manage that. And it was so like successful that like it sold out within, I think, within months, all their franchises. Yeah.
Wow.
So essentially, but Shaq wasn't an original franchisee. Shaq bought them all 155 of them out at once for $78 million. He just put a huge investment into this, 155 of them.
Like literally just wrote a check. All right, here you go. I'm taking over.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I don't know what the financing of the
Yeah, I
deal
know,
was,
I
but
know.
like, I'd like to think that he just wrote that check,
It's
which is
crazy.
sick.
It's crazy because I think about it. Maybe we have visited one of his Five Guys franchise before.
Dude, we
Who
probably did.
knows? Yeah.
Maybe he owns one of the ones in Bloomington, bro. Honestly, like, I like the Kirkwood one. Like, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't put it past him.
Okay.
But anyways, Five Guys are obviously they're a bigger store than like an Auntie Anne's, right?
Mhm.
And so generally, Five Guys locations, and I looked this up online, was that they gross about between $100 and $125,000 a year. Obviously, depending on the location, I'm sure the urban ones make a lot more.
Yeah, it
I'm gonna
varies.
go
Yep.
with I went with a conservative estimate here, and I said, okay, across all of his 155 stores, let's assume that he makes $100,000. That means that he's grossing between 15 and $16 million a year simply from his Five Guys locations.
Wow, that's a good investment. Very good
Which,
investment.
which, yeah, like how long until that pays off the
I mean,
like
from
4 or
my
5 years?
apparently he spent close to 80 million just acquiring all the franchises. So that literally just takes like what, 5, 6 years
Right?
just to cover that cost. And then yeah, wow.
But after that, you're grossing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, recurring revenue is the name of the game, right? Like,
Yeah,
cash flows is what it's about, making your money work for you. And this is just a classic example of that.
exactly. Okay.
But he doesn't stop there. He doesn't stop there.
Okay.
Next is Papa John's. And his Papa John's deal is pretty cool because like I guess before the Papa John's founder got canceled,
Mhm.
he was friends with him. And so like they gave him 9 locations
Mhm.
of Papa John's locations, and they were all in Atlanta. And but they didn't give him full amount, right? So I
Yeah.
think he has about a 30% stake in each one of those 9 locations.
Okay.
So if you divvy that one up, and they make about $75,000 a year. He's grossing between $200 and $250,000 a year from his Papa John's locations. But
Okay.
the cool thing is it wasn't just the locations that he got in that deal. They gave him an endorsement deal, which I know he does a lot, but it is a pretty cool added bonus. A $4 million endorsement deal and a board seat. So
Oh, wow.
he is intimately involved with like Papa John's, the company.
Wow. Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah, and so the last 2 quote unquote boring investments, right,
Yeah.
are fitness franchises.
Okay.
So he
Okay.
owns 40 24-hour fitness centers,
Okay.
and he owns 150 car washes, bro.
Oh my god.
150, man. Like, he has been on, like, talk about a spending spree. Like, that is insane.
Yeah.
Um,
That's wow.
yeah.
He
Yeah.
he's just like on the grind, even like after, maybe I think this could even happen during his career too.
Oh
Like,
yeah, I think he got started pretty early on.
yeah. Okay. Dang. You know,
And the cool thing is that like in all of his gyms, you'll
yeah.
see yeah, he'll have the name Shaq printed at the back. So you'll know it's
No.
one of Shaq's gyms.
I thought it's gonna be like a life-size like cardboard
Nah.
cutout of him and
You want
every
you want a little modest. You want a little modest. But anyways,
Okay.
so these investments,
Mhm.
boring investments, right, are estimated to gross him over $30 million a year,
Mhm.
which is more than he was making, way more than what he was making yearly as an NBA player.
Every player, yeah.
Like, he's double tripled his NBA salary
Ex-
yearly,
yeah.
well after his NBA career is over.
Well, I mean, back then there wasn't like the supermax contract thing,
Right? Yeah.
only
Like,
now.
how much do you think he was making yearly as an NBA player? And maybe I can even look this up.
I mean, if it's 292 million career earnings, right? And I'm guessing 92, he probably retired 2012. I would say it's a 15, 14 year. No, 14, no,
So it was
more than that.
290 million, right?
Yeah. He was in the NBA for about, I don't know, 16 seasons, maybe 16.
Okay. So
No,
he was making about
wait.
15. He was making between 15 and $16 million a year.
Yeah.
So he's effectively doubled his NBA salary through his
Yeah.
investments. Obviously, it took a lot of capital up
Mhm.
front to
Yeah.
put into these things. But just to have the business savvy to establish these relationships and open up in these investments is pretty cool.
Crazy.
But
Okay.
these boring investments have kind of led him to do some cooler stuff. And so
It gave
he's
him like financial freedom to do
right.
more
Yeah.
things.
Like
Yeah.
now he's like, look, I know I'm getting cash flow from this stuff. Like I can move on to cooler things. And in the middle of all of this stuff, he made some really cool, like random investments.
Okay.
Like, can we talk about like, so
let's hear
right,
it.
he went after right, the Indian business community, and he was like, look, I'm gonna copy you guys. I'm gonna become a monster in the franchise world. After that, he's like, I'm not done. I'm going after the venture capitalists. He's going after Sequoia. He's going after Andreessen, bro. He was a Series A investor in Google. How freaking crazy is that? A
What?
Series A investor in Google,
Well,
which is
he
like,
could do it. Yeah, he definitely could do it. You know,
how
with
does
his,
Shaq get involved in that round? Like this was well before celebrities did the whole venture capital thing. Because nowadays it's very normal, right? For VC, for
yeah.
like a lot of these celebrities to participate in like early
Mhm.
funding rounds for big companies, especially consumer facing
Yeah.
ones. But like back then, especially with a name like Google, which is arguably the best investment of all time.
Oh yeah. It was, I think, what before it IPO'd, it was like $80 a share, and now it's like over $200 a share. Woo! That's
Man,
like,
and who knows what the Series A price was and how, I mean, in figures, no one knows how much he put in, but
mhm,
I'm
mhm.
sure his biggest regret is like I didn't put more. And
Yeah, I think he
you know
did.
what I'm saying?
He has said that he wished that he
Yeah,
could have put more.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but you're right. Given that back then, I don't think a lot of people were in, like athletes weren't into venture capital stuff,
Mm-hmm,
investments, and for
mm-hmm.
him to actually go for it, and I wouldn't say take a risk. I think back then he probably took a very calculated risk, and he did it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it just speaks volumes to his character, to his mindset, and
yeah,
everything.
yeah. And I mean the story behind it is part luck as well.
Okay.
The way he kind of came across the investment is one of his good family friends is a big time investor who showed Shaq the kind of the term sheet and was like, this could really be something. And
Yeah.
Shaq is not a person to shy away from opportunity. So
Yeah.
he took that in stride for sure.
I think, yeah, sometimes in business you do need a little luck,
Yeah,
just a
and I mean,
little
look,
bit.
but the thing is luck doesn't come out of thin air. You create your own luck by
Okay.
putting yourself in the right circles and in the right scenarios.
Yeah.
Luck will play on your side, and I think you'll see that amongst a lot of successful people, especially
Right.
financially.
Okay.
But anyways, right, he invested in Google in 1999. He invested in Ring, which is the doorbell startup company.
Oh yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah. Okay. Okay.
yeah, he invested in their Series A as well when it was valued at 200 million, and
Mhm.
then it ended up getting bought out by Amazon for $1 billion. So we can
Okay.
only think what happened to that investment as well.
Well, big payout, maybe. Yeah.
Huge payout.
Huge
Huge
payout.
Yeah. So just very interesting stuff. Now let's kind of get into like what he's trying to establish, right? Because at this point in time, like
Mhm.
if you're him, you're not just trying to make money. Like I feel like I would try to establish a legacy, right?
A
Like
legacy, a brand. I think like
right.
he's just like he's got so much experience now.
Yeah.
Like he did so well in the franchise industry, and then he did well in the tech investments.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's moving into the restaurant side of things, like the F&B industry,
Mm.
and from there, he's actually building out, like you said, his legacy. I think there's this restaurant called Big Chicken down in
Yeah.
Atlanta.
I remember
It's a
reading about
fast food.
this.
I think it's a fast food chain now.
Yeah.
It started out with one location, and they serve like huge portions of fried chicken sandwiches. Well, yeah, which kind of pays testament to how big it is, right? And now
Yeah.
it has 6 different locations. And if I've never been, I've heard about it, but I know
Yeah.
Shaquille has a restaurant. It's called Shaquille's in LA, upscale restaurant.
Mhm.
Pretty sure there's a couple locations in LA, Vegas, maybe
Yeah.
the East Coast as well.
Yeah.
So,
And
so
that's his
that's
thing, right? He's like, now he's like, and I think I read somewhere that he sold his Auntie Anne's locations to help
okay.
him to help him really scale Big Chicken and Shaquille's. Because now
Wow.
he's
Okay.
like, I don't need, the Auntie Anne's brand.
Mhm.
My brand is so much worth it
Yeah.
that attached to a restaurant with good food, that can make me a lot more money and just build
Wow.
a much stronger foundation.
I mean, look at him.
Um,
He's so diversified, right? Like he's everywhere.
oh,
He's like went to franchise, tech investments, restaurant biz, and
yeah.
speak like going on about his legacy. I think everyone's very familiar with the Walmart story. I know Zane, you have something on him spending 70,000 at Walmart. But before we get that, there I think there's a Walmart story. I think people are familiar with this. He actually has a basketball shoe line,
Mhm.
uh, and he partnered with Walmart. So there was actually a customer, female lady, went up to him, and she was like, "Hey, um, you know, I think basketball shoes are so expensive and people can't
Yeah.
afford it." So in response, he started an affordable brand, and the prices for his shoes are like between 19 to $30, cheap.
Okay.
And
Very cheap.
he wants to make it affordable for the masses. And he has sold over 400 pairs of
Wow.
shoes of his
Four
shoes.
hundred.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
400.
400 million
Oh,
pairs.
400, 400
400 million.
million.
Sorry, did I not say million? My bad.
No, no, no. You're good. You're good. You're good.
Okay, but yeah. So what is this about these 70,000?
we can we can skip that story for now. But if anyone's watching this and is interested, um, just watch his bit with Jimmy Kimmel. He
Yeah.
got traded from like Miami to Phoenix,
Right.
and
Okay.
he
I
like
saw
moved
that.
into an empty apartment, right? And like
Mhm.
he just went to Walmart and just bought everything. Bought like
Gotcha.
5 TVs, furniture, laptops, routers, phones. I'm like, you don't even like stuff that you don't even need. Like, what are you doing with like 3 phones, bro?
I know. It's
But I
it's
mean, what your Shaq, everything's just gotta be bigger and better than ever. So I guess I just thought that was funny
crazy.
that he has the single biggest purchase in Walmart history, which was like
Crazy.
$70,000.
But I think, just learning from this, I think it's very important. Like just learning from Shaq himself. Like I think
Yeah.
my observation is this. He actually really chooses his sponsors very carefully.
Yeah.
He only makes an agreement if he's actually using the product. I think there's a story on Starbucks, right? Like he actually turned down a Starbucks sponsorship. And I
Yeah.
think one of his quotes was like, "Black people don't drink coffee," and I think
That's
he's
funny.
just trying to, show his personality and
Yeah.
show his authentic self through his investments or through what he does in the business world. And he
Yeah.
has to believe that he has to believe in it, basically. So, I
Yeah.
think
No, I
good
mean,
on him. And,
mhm.
I'm just wondering, what's next for Shaq? What's going on right now
Yeah. So I
for
mean,
him?
like right, like all of these business that he invested in is kind of teeing up for his big act, right?
Mhm.
And there's a couple different things he's going. He is kind of following in the footsteps of Michael Jordan.
Mhm.
He
Yep.
bought a minority stake in, I think it was like 4% of the Sacramento Kings,
Okay.
a
Yep.
few years ago, and that stake ballooned, just because the Kings franchise became worth north of $1 billion.
Yep.
He ended up selling that stake actually,
Okay.
and has stated that he is interested in making, like acquiring stakes in large sports franchises. So I feel like we should be on the lookout
Okay.
for Shaq
Okay.
doing something along those lines in the future.
Amazing.
He is going into the sports gambling space as well. I know he signed a couple of big deals,
Mhm.
with WinBet, like the Win Resorts group,
Oh,
just for sports betting. Yeah, and I
that
don't know. Did you do any research into like exactly what happened in this? Because I don't remember exactly what the nature of the
so
deal looked like.
so nature of the deal is, I mean, it's still ongoing because I know
Yeah.
when he sold his stake in the Kings, it was actually to help fuel this investment into the
That
sport
makes
gambling
sense.
space.
That
And
makes
I
sense.
mean, now you're seeing it, right? I think it's blowing up. It's
Oh, it's
huge.
absolutely blowing like
DraftKings,
FanDuel. Yeah,
FanDuel,
there's so
yeah.
many of them.
And I think it's going to continue to blow up. And like it turns out he's going to be right again. He's going to make so much money again.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
he's gonna, MJ, Michael Jordan, he's like the first 1 billion entrepreneur. He's gonna
Mhm.
get close. And you know what? I'm excited for Shaq, for
Yeah.
what he's gonna do. And um I think as as people, as we are working right now, I think it's very important to look beyond salary. That's kind of my takeaway
Yeah.
from this
That
story.
that is definitely a big takeaway. Just because like salary doesn't build real wealth. Um,
Yeah.
and I think that as long as you are tied to a salary in some form,
Hmm.
that it's going to prevent you from attaining true financial freedom, whatever
Yeah.
that may mean to you. Um,
Hmm.
and this is kind of a perfect example of that, right? Like growing and grooming a fortune is not as easy as you think it is. We've seen
Preach.
dozens and dozens of cases of athletes, celebrities, singers, businessmen, even
Hmm.
who have made a lot of money and had it and then lost it all.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, one example of just ways someone can actually groom and grow a fortune. Um,
Absolutely.
so that's definitely big, and just it's that rich versus wealthy mentality, right? And
Okay.
Shaq embodies that. He doesn't want to be rich. He wants to build real wealth,
Like
generational wealth.
generation. Okay.
Exactly. That's kind of his goal. So I think it's just an interesting story, and although we know him obviously for the jokes that he puts on
Yeah,
TNT,
I
which
know.
is awesome, bro. Like I
Shaq
aspire
in
to
the
be that, right?
fold.
Like he has
Shaq
his,
in.
yeah, he has the side that he shows to the world, but behind
Mhm.
that is one of the greatest, athlete businessmen of our time. So
Yeah,
it's just kind of interesting.
absolutely. It's but yeah, I think this is how we're gonna wrap up our episode. I think it's great, man. I think I love this episode. I love this topic.
This is a fun topic.
This is fun, but
Talk about something like this.
I know. But yeah, listeners, stay tuned for the next episode. We'll come back and we'll talk again. Hopefully, Omar can join us. Maybe he'll be live from Africa
He
this
will
time.
be
Oh,
straight from the
okay.
motherland. Thank you, everyone. See ya.
Good night.